Hi, this is Diane Delgado, and we are doing Unit 6 today. And my topic was robotics, and it's pretty much a growing trend that's happening every 2 to 3 years. And robotics has been very helpful for certain types of industries that the article mentioned, like mining, transportation, and military. They're pretty much completing a lot of good operations that are not safe for humans, or humans find them tedious to do. We also have the global robot population is growing pretty fast, where it's going to be doubling to 4 million by year 2020. So what's happening is schools are preparing children based on STEM disciplines, and classes and outreach programs are allowing for children to be able to bring out their critical thinking skills or computational thinking, as well as problem solving. Some popular tools that children are working with in the school systems would be Robotics Lab Box, which is also helping teachers manipulate robots via tablet devices. And they also talked about a little bit about artificial intelligence as I was reading about it, and how it's advancing and leading students and people in the work industry on building these robots, and they're becoming very intelligent, and there's a lot of people in the industry and in our economy who feel threatened by that. And then there's another group of people who are thinking, well, it's freeing me, it's keeping me from, it's saving me time, and they can worry and concentrate on higher level thinking tasks that they need to do at their job. The Robotic Industries Association had reported that about 19%, there will be a 19% increase in robotic orders in the automotive industry, which is going to lead to a lot of job opportunities in this growing field. There was also discussion on certain schools that were teaching programming. For instance, there were some researchers at the Tufts University that discussed how there were like 60 children that were enrolled from pre-K to second grade for an 8-week robotics program curriculum. And it was just pretty much designed to help build a foundational knowledge of robotics and programming. And it involved coding as well. And some of the program software devices they used for that was, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, please forgive me if I don't, Kiwi robotics kits and Chirp programming blocks. And at the end of the 8 weeks, the researchers had questioned the little kids that were coming from pre-K to second grade. And pretty much their feedback was that it was fun. They enjoyed doing it. So there's obviously a big demand and need for teaching children about programming and learning how to build robots. And the ITSE standard that I thought went well with this was for students, number 3, knowledge constructor, build knowledge by actively exploring real world issues and problems and developing ideas and theories and pursuing answers and solutions. And also 5, computational thinker, which is break problems into component parts, extract key information, and develop descriptive models to understand complex systems or facilitate problem solving. Thank you.
Oh, that was great to hear about, Diane.
Yes.
You mentioned like some people saying that they're scared of, robots taking their job. But it seems like, we'll always need somebody to be able to build the robots and code and program them. So that's pretty cool that we could be having students or even classrooms where students are doing that to be able to program or code robots. So I look forward to seeing, how we're able to integrate robots into the classroom.
Yes, thank you.
So next, my name is Michaela Dunn. I will be talking about wearable technology, which is also in Unit 6. It's a 4 to 5 year adoption. What wearable technology is, it's an accessory like jewelry, so it can be worn on your eyes, or it could be a bracelet or something you put on your finger. There are many companies who are popularizing wearable technology like Apple, Google, and Samsung. We all know a lot of people have Apple Watches now or a Samsung type watch. What these products do is they interact with your personal life. So they keep track of sleep, movement, location, and social media interaction. They've always been able to track where people go, what they do, and how much time they spend doing it. But the big thing now is that they're going to be able to track what your aspirations are and then how you can reach those aspirations or those goals. So an example of that, they're saying in the classroom, they're trying to get more students enrolled in PE classes. For whatever reason, there are some students who are not wanting to participate in PE. So UNICEF actually donated fitness bracelets or fitness bands to a school in Chicago for students to be able to track how many miles they're running and just keep track of different stats. So it'll tell them, you know, if you are not able to run this much, here are some suggestions as to what you can do if you want to be able to run this distance or jump this height or, you know, hit a baseball at a certain speed. So those are some different things that are going on. As well as in Australia. Australia has adopted a nationwide curriculum that implements technology as far as designing. So what they are trying to do is make sure that they're able to engage students in design thinking and use technology to develop solutions to current and future needs. One of the most interesting technologies that they talked about was called Bird, and it's actually a Bluetooth device that you can put on your finger, and it takes the information that's on your computer or phone and it puts it on a different surface. So if a student is at their desk, they would just have the Bluetooth on their finger and they would be able to manipulate what's on the computer or phone at their desk. And so it makes it easy for the teacher because the students can be sitting in groups and she or he can kind of just walk around and facilitate that way instead of having to, you know, walk around a whole computer lab or something like that. So the ISTE standards that I thought that this were related to for students, it is the Empowered Learner, which is 1C. Use technology to seek feedback that informs and improves their practice and demonstrate their learning in a variety of ways. So like I mentioned, the students who are in PE, they're able to get real-time feedback and response to how they can accomplish their goals. The ISTE standard for educators is Designer 5B, which is design authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active deep learning. So I think with students being able, the Bluetooth device Bird, I feel like that will really engage students and they will really have fun with being able to manipulate data with their hands. And that's it.
I think it sounds cool, Michaela. I've seen already where they have like people manipulating and doing things on their arm based upon the bracelet that they have on. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. And that kind of leads up to my discussion point, which is virtual reality. The Horizon article discussed the virtual reality and how it's changing the classroom and what the classroom looks like. And in my own personal experience, I have been a big advocate for virtual reality on my campus. We used it at least once each unit that I was teaching, especially integrated with social studies and science a lot. Virtual reality, it brought the world inside of our classroom. So a lot of schools are experiencing budget cuts where they can't go on all of these elaborate field trips anymore. But through virtual reality, just this school year, my class was able to go. We explored the ocean. We went to the moon. We even got to go, like, when we did the holidays around the world, we got to go to each country or different continents to see how those holidays were celebrated. And we used the platform Google Expedition. So with Google Expedition, it integrates Google or Google Images to create the virtual reality platform. So I really enjoyed that. And for myself, I use Google Cardboards instead of going to buy the actual VR headsets that can be like from $5 to $50 per child. I bought Google Cardboards and they were only $1 per child, and we got old phones donated by parents or different staff members, and we were able to take my entire class all over the world. And the kids, it was something that they look forward to, you know, at the end of each unit. And that the ITSE standard to me that really resonated with that was the visionary leader. It's 1D, where they kind of talk about managing the change process in schools and the classroom, because the classrooms are changing and budget is changing, but there's still a way, through technology, that we can bring the outside world inside of the classroom and give kids authentic learning experience.
Wash, I think that is awesome, the way you were able to expose those students to things that they would probably otherwise not have had experiences with. Did you find it easy for your school to get on board with budgeting or purchasing those devices for the students?
After they saw me with the Google Cardboard, and I had to put the money up out of pocket at first to get the Google Cardboard, and I had to show them my kids were really learning it. At the end of the school year, our tech specialist did write the grant, and she got the actual Google Expedition. So she purchased 3 things that I asked for. But she saw that we could actually use. So I asked for more robotics material. So we got a few things to deal with robotics, and then she bought the Google Expeditions a cart with the class set on it, and she also bought a 3D printer. So
wow.
they'll be doing some great things at that school.
That you'll no longer be at.
That I will no longer be at, but they'll be there with all the stuff that I came up with ideas for.
So I talked about blended learning, and it's talking about increasing the use of blended learning designs. And basically, for those who may not know what blended learning is, it's just a way to integrate both online and face-to-face instruction. And so it's become increasingly popular with universities and colleges. However, I can say that in our school district in Alief, we've seen blended learning taking a really big push with the use of Schoology. So we have Schoology, and the students are able to integrate and interact with their with online experiences with their teacher through that environment. So in essence, the article talks about a couple of things that blended learning brings to the table. It brings flexibility, support. It fosters an independence of learning, and then also collaboration. And it, to me, whenever you think of collaboration, it forces the students and teachers to think outside of the realm of the normal box and look for other ways of communication. So for example, for us in our course, we're looking at this environment, this Zoom video conferencing to help us with our collaboration. In another class I'm taking, we have done like group chats and things of that nature. But it's getting us, it's actually having us to look outside of, let me call you on the phone or let me meet with you in person, looking for other areas. I did find it interesting how a lot of different universities are structuring their courses around this blended learning technique. And with them, they're noticing an increase in passing scores and a reduction of student absences. Who knew? So I think that's pretty good. And I don't know if classroom teachers have experienced some of the same things with like an increase in test scores or a decrease in student absences. But I think that blended learning definitely has some pretty good things to offer. And teachers should, in higher education as well as in public schools, should explore it.
Just to wrap it up and comment on yours, Karen, I did use blended learning in my classroom this past school year. Alief rolled out what they call the Redbird platform through Schoology. So they went and got Jason Green, who's like a blended learning like guru, and they brought him to our school. And so he used Stanford and Google. They merged together to create something. And I followed that pretty closely, and it worked really well. It worked wonders in my class. And I had the special populations class. So I had the 504 dyslexia, spec ed, behavior class, and I incorporated blended learning, and I did see improvements in attendance. I saw improvements with communication, parent involvement, because not only were they held accountable for what I was learning or what we were doing inside the classroom, they also had a platform digitally that they were held accountable for. So it just made them, all the more involved.
Cool.
I need to get back with you on that to learn what you used to get them to do online learning. That's interesting.
I'm sorry, I failed to mention my ITSE standard, which I felt was 2.8, and it just talks about how the leader is shaping and advancing and accelerating that shared vision for empowering learning through technology.
And Ms. Diana, good platform to start out on if your district hasn't bought into Schoology, because when I first started out with the blended learning, our district hadn't bought into, like, purchased Schoology, or they weren't using Schoology as a district, is Google Classrooms. You can start off with Google Classrooms.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I think that will wrap up our conversation today, ladies.
Thank
Anybody
you.
have any final comments? Or
No, I just thought about, I was thinking really hard on Michaela's. I thought about the Fitbit. That's wearable technology.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All of the
Yeah.
virtual glasses she was talking about, they include those too in it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We're incorporating it into everyday life everywhere now.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I will see you guys next time.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.